Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Marketing in the Madness, where every week I try to delve into the innovations and the cool things that you need to know when it comes to creating campaigns that are really going to get you further faster. And I have just finished an amazing chat with the fantastic George Sullivan. George is the founder of the Supplier. And oh my God, I mean, we talked about loads of different stuff. Looking at George now, we've talked about Whoop, fitness. We talked about the importance of your gut and your mind connection when it comes to running a business and being a founder. We talked about how to grow a business, but we also really mapped into the things that has helped not George just grow his business. And wow, I'm going to come to George in a minute to give me some of those stats, but also the really cool things that are happening in the world of retail and e-commerce. So guys, get strapped into your trainers because we have got some awesome marketing content coming for you today. George, tell me a little bit, for those that don't know about the Supplier, and I am really regretting my choice of trainers today. They could have cleaned them at least. Veha, which I thought was Veja, so I've already learned something.
Yeah.
Tell me about the Supplier and a bit of the George backstory.
Yeah. So Supplier started in my parents' spare room about 11 years ago now, whilst I was working in recruitment. I was working in NHS recruitment, so shout out all the recruiters out there. I was working in recruitment and I was buying shoes as a symbol of my success because I didn't have a lot of money before that. I'd been kicked out of school. I was scratching around different jobs, 10 different jobs. And as soon as I got into recruitment and started doing well, I was like, this is how I'm going to show I'm successful now. I'm going to buy shoes every week. And that was the general way that the obsession happened. I got the bug. I started buying shoes. If I had been 15 years old and you had said, would you ever get obsessed with shoes? I would have said, never. Obviously not. Why would I do that? But I listened to hip hop and rap growing up, and they were a symbol of their success. So it was kind of like a natural follow-on from my influences when I was a kid. I was the kid listening to like Eminem, Marshall Mathers LP at 11. Parental advisory, explicit lyrics.
Love that.
And my mum and dad were like, you can't listen to that. And then me and Dan, who I work with now, my best friend, would rap the lyrics back to my mum and be like, you know, we are Eminem.
I honestly think that you are my little brother.
Right.
Who is probably older than you, which is slightly worrying.
This is how it all started. So then after doing that for a year and a half, 2 years in recruitment, I decided, I know a lot about shoes. People are asking me a lot about shoes. There's not a great website that tells people everything that I know. I'm going to start the website because I've got a bit of website knowledge, and I'm going to create that site to help others like me. And the light bulb moment, that was it.
Wow. And that's how it started.
That's how it started.
So tell me, how does Supplier differentiate from other, like you're saying, you're telling them more about the shoes than maybe other kind of typical e-commerce websites do?
The simple way to explain the Supplier is we are a discovery, search and comparison platform. So we're a blend of like a media platform where you discover different pieces of content, community, news about shoes so you can get inspired, as well as you can then convert using different search and comparison tools, and you can shop from 50 retailers. So using the app, you can find the latest and greatest Jordan 1, and then you can see the 10 retailers that are stocking it in your size. And if they're not, you can set up reminders, alerts, stuff that's coming up in the future. So we give you the tools to get inspired and then to buy the shoes that you want. And that's just like grown year on year. And now we serve millions monthly, helping them get shoes that they love for their feet, basically.
Yeah, I love that. And solving a problem, because it is bloody annoying when you can't find the exact pair of shoes that you want. Oh my God, the amount of times I have searched sites.
For Veha.
not just Veha.
Yeah.
I tell you my favourite trainer brands.
Go on.
What I tend to buy. You've probably guessed. There's like a lot of them are like obvious ones. New Balance.
Yep.
Veha.
Did you buy any of the Adidas cow print or leopard print?
No, but I love that. Now, there's just been a really good collab and they haven't got my size. So maybe you're going to be able to help me, but I can't find they sell them anywhere.
Is it the Wales Bonner?
No, different one.
Okay.
More niche. I'm more niche, darling.
Oh, okay.
Ganni,
yeah.
X New Balance.
Nice, yeah.
And they're really plain, like little creamy white trainers with a little bit of like leopard at the back.
Were they, so this would be the example you'd use. So you'd go on the Supplier and you'd look and you'd find that pair. You'd set up the alerts for your size, and then when they come back in stock, our tech will help serve you the notification for the shoe so you can get it before it sells out, right? Yeah. Or if you didn't know you liked them, we might have created some content about the Ganni New Balance. We might have done a podcast like this, or we might have got the shoe from Ganni or New Balance, and then you might have seen it and been like, I want that. How do I get it? And then this happens. So yeah, we're solving that problem for people like you or me who want to get their hands on shoes. And most importantly, I am the target audience and our team are the target audience. So we know how to speak to these people because we are the audience. I'm 34 now, so I'm not as much the audience as I once was, but our team very much so. My heart is still in the game.
Yeah, I love that. Everyone I'm interviewing today is 34. My previous guest was 34 as well. We've just spoken about that on the podcast.
There you go.
That's
great
the thing.
age.
It is a great age.
We're nearly there, midway through.
Yeah, midway. Don't say that because I'm older than you. So that means I'm now officially past it.
Midway through 30. I mean,
yeah, midway through 30. Yes, there we go. Midway through 30.
I've got ambitions to live to 100. We're not midway through life.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah. We've got a bit more time yet. So I want to really delve into the things that you think have helped you grow to the place where you are today, because you have had some pretty phenomenal growth.
Yeah.
I mean, first up, just to give people context, can you tell us, like, when did you start? How big are you now? What's kind of been that journey of you growing the business?
Yeah, so we started, like I say, just me. I started just me in my parents' spare room. And then I left my full-time job after 15 months and then went to run the Soul Supplier full-time. And we outgrew 4 offices in 2 years. And then at one point, the 4th office at like 2.5 years was a 2,000 square foot double story warehouse, studios downstairs and creative space upstairs. We spent 250, 300 grand refurbishing this place. And so I've gone from not having any money, borrowing £700 to buy a Fiat off of my granddad, right, in recruitment, to then spending 600 grand refurbishing an office and buying an office in Woolwich for a team of like 25 people in 2.5 years. So it was an absolutely wild, pinch me kind of journey, which I was at the pinnacle bit of timing for the industry just before it really popped off. And so actually for 9 months, the initial part, we didn't make much money at all. I was grinding it out. Fucking hate that word. But that's the truth, like really working hard full time in recruitment. And then in the evenings, not going on holiday, not socializing. My girlfriend at the time, I was like, I'm not going to be seeing you as much. It was proper like heavy burnout central kind of stuff. But where I was younger, I could do it. And now if I did that, it'd be harder at 34. I do feel that. But when you're 22, 3, got a lot more energy and a lot more time. So that's a message in itself, to make the most of those young years when you can wear the badge of 16, 17-hour days easier.
Yeah. And also persistence. Like, you've got to keep going. You've got to, an effort. Like, none of this happens. I think it's something that we forget to talk about sometimes is, look, of course, there's going to be tactics, marketing things that you guys have, or you've done to get the business to where it is today. But also it's, or is it blood, sweat and tears? Is that the words I'm looking for? Yeah. It is those blood, sweat and tears that get you there, because you've got to be passionate enough, to care enough, to put the extra hours in, to want to be there, to want to do the late nights, to believe in something so much that you're happy to put the extra hours in, because those that don't, this doesn't happen. I think everyone nowadays thinks, oh yeah, you've got these influencers or whatever online saying, oh yeah, do this. And the reality is hard work equals reward. Full bloody stop. There's not really many, unless you win the lottery, there ain't any easy way to making success happen.
Yeah, well, there's going to be outliers where people get rich off a meme coin in crypto, right? Or where people like start a business based on a trend they've seen online and then somehow it pops off and then they're rich. But these are like the 0.00% in general. Something of value that can't be done as easily, takes time, and it takes consistent effort, because if it's that easy, everyone will do it, which means it will get saturated quickly, which means that then you won't be making money like you were. So something that has value takes time, and not everyone can do it. Therefore, you need to put the effort in, is what you're saying there, isn't it? But I went really off of a tangent, I guess. But then we've gone from like that to 11 years later, nearly being bankrupt twice from different silly mistakes I made.
That's also the fucking reality.
Yeah.
That we don't talk about enough. Maybe, sorry,
Yeah.
I'm going off on all sorts of tangents.
No,
but that
agreed.
is a reality that we don't, like, we're all here to talk about the success and it sounds amazing. But the real, like, lessons and the reality is to get what, I have had some of the toughest 2 years in business that I've ever experienced.
This last 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The year before last, particularly hard.
Same.
It was, I think lots of people that I speak to, but no one fucking talks about it. So there you are, like, thinking you're on your own. And actually, it's been a really tough market. Anyone who has survived the last year or two without going bust, making redundancies, whatever. Like, I mean, and most people have. You, in order to survive, often you do have to make redundancies.
Yeah.
You know, the reality is, again, running a business ain't easy. Like, there's going to be rough moments.
Yeah, it's worth it, but it's tricky. Like the last 2 years, I learnt more in the last 2 years of pain and struggle than I did in 5 years of success. And that was, in 5 years of success, being a 23-year-old lad, getting a business that grew for 8 years solidly, I thought this is never going to end. Yeah.
La 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 la. Here we go.
I thought this is my time. Life is complete. And I think I am generally quite humble and aware and quite realistic. But 8 years of success, of consistent growth and a team that is on fire can make anybody have the kind of glitz and glamour in their eyes that this is going to continue forever. And I didn't see it at the time. And then and so what happens is you start to analyze certain things less. You start to spend money more on things that you shouldn't in business, more experimental projects without validating the idea. And you don't hire as carefully as you once did because you've got the money and therefore you think you can battle it through if you hire badly, perhaps. But all of these things, you have to be just as careful when you're successful as when you're not successful, is what I now know. Because when the shit hits the fan and you haven't been careful with those things, they are exacerbated tenfold. You will see very clearly how that bad hire, how that marketing spend, how that project have not worked because the money's not coming in like it once was. And it's all very clear what's going wrong. Not initially, but over a year of having pain and struggle, you really start to see the bad decisions that you made that contributed. And don't get me wrong, the economy was hard. So people were spending less. People had less to spend.
Yeah.
So we can't blame ourselves or just me or just the company or just our mistakes. It was an economic thing which affected out of our control. But you do have to take the accountability and go, these are all the things that I messed up. And if I had done them differently, we might not have had to let 10 people go. We might have only had to let go 3 or 4. And it's a people thing for me. It's like, It's the hearts of people and their lives. And having to let 10 people go in a close company is like...
That's horrible.
It's fucking ruthless,
you
know?
It feels...
Yeah.
I don't think that stuff, when you're a nice person, ever gets any easier because it just... I have been lucky that we haven't had to let too many people go at Street over the years, but it's the thing that I worry about the most because you feel responsible for your staff when you're a founder.
Yeah. More like as well. It's not about me, it's about everyone else as well, because if people forge good connections in the company, then and they've been there for a long time, which we've been I'm thankful to have people. Our retention rate's good. It's generally like 2-3 times better than industry average, right?
Amazing.
People get on well and they've made friendships outside of work. So then when you have those redundancies, not only does it just really shit people up about their future, it means people lose their close people and it takes a bit of their life out, which their work life is a huge percentage of their life. So it's not about me and how I'm feeling, even though you're having some sleepless nights or whatever. It's about everyone else as well when you've got a close team. Yeah. If the team weren't close and it was all just like, I can't wait for him to go, blah, 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 or her to go, it's a bit easier probably. Yeah. But when it's a tighter team in a smaller company, you're not just a number. This is everyone's doing their bit. So I hope I don't have to do that again. But if I'm in business for the rest of my life, no doubt we will go through difficulties in the country and there will be times like that. I'm realistic.
Yeah, well, it is. And I think it's about the lessons that you learn when it's been like that and trying to get ahead so that it's not as bad next time,
Yeah,
or
spotting
learning.
it earlier.
Yeah. And I think that's a big thing. Like, we're going into the business side of things, I guess. But for me is, as much as I don't want to act quickly because you're like, oh, let's see what happens. I'm just almost scared. Like, I don't want to have to let people go. The quicker you act, the less damage you're going to have. And I think that has been a lesson for me, going where I've gone, oh, just sit it out a bit longer. Whereas actually, I know what's coming. I need to do it now.
Yeah.
And that has been a game changer for me over the last year.
Yeah, that's tricky. Yeah.
Hard,
few different CFOs that I know will be like, you cut quick and you cut deep. That's a ruthless saying, isn't it?
It is.
But that's like the CFO mentality, when they disconnect from the emotions and they look at the numbers. And my mentality was not that, having done it for the first time in my business career. So yeah, it's, I don't think there's one correct way to do it. Because again, you could cut deep and cut quickly, and then things could turn around in 2 months.
Yeah.
So if you listen to your CFO too much, you've absolutely destroyed the culture and the money-making ability of the business. And then it turns around, you can't get those good people back. People are then naturally, the morale is destroyed for a bit.
Yeah. And it's hard to get people
because you've cut deep
up.
and cut quick. Yeah. So only you know, as a CEO or a founder, hopefully you know, because you're spending a lot of time in your business and listening to people and talking, what the right thing to do is. It's different for everyone.
Yeah, George, you're going to find this out because I know you're about to have a baby.
Yeah.
But I actually relate it quite a lot to parenting.
Yeah.
Cut
deep and cut quick.
Maybe in labour when that happens, you've got that coming. No, I'm going way up. Like, shut up, Katie. Don't do that.
That's funny.
But actually, you've got to go with where I was going with this is you've got to go with what feels right to you, because you're the CEO of your company, and the decisions you make are based on you and how you want to operate, what you're comfortable with, what feels right for you, and your gut feel is your gut feel. So I have always been such a strong believer in do what feels right for you, because when I've not trusted my gut and usually I know what to do and someone else is telling me what to do, and I'll either go, oh yeah, they're right, or I'll go, oh no, they're wrong. Therefore, I'll still do what I want to do. And I think there is a lot to be said in that based on your experience. Look, we don't get it right all the time. Of course we don't. But I think if you're a founder, if you're a CEO, MD, you're making those decisions, a lot of it is based on gut instinct as well as learnings throughout your career, and you'll make the decision that's right for you.
Yes. Trusting your gut is a good one. I agree with you, but trusting your gut can be dangerous if you're not in the right headspace.
Yes.
So there's a lot of
panic. Yes.
Yeah. There's a lot of founders or CEOs running in mad headspaces for whatever they're doing in their lives. If you're running on gut instincts, which I do believe is a good way to be, but only if you are on point mentally, because if you trust your gut and you are in really bad habits, going out drinking all the time, losing sleep, eating bad, your gut is not right, because you are being driven by your own pain and anxiety in your head. And then that survival instinct is the thing that is actually your gut. But when you're in a great place, trusting your gut is amazing, because it's the gut for not just you, but for what's correct around you. But if you can't look after yourself, you can't look after anyone else, right? So if you trust your gut and you can't look after yourself, that gut is probably selfish. It's more about you. So I'm very big on this stuff, like looking after the mind so you can be a better marketer, business person. Because if you can't look after you first, you can't look after your other people around you in any business or your life or with your family, like you said. If I can't get up in the morning and clean the dishes in the sink and be polite and kind to my partner, what chance do I have of being a good example to my daughter or to be a good example to my employees? I can't even clean the dishes out the sink.
Yeah.
Like that. It's just very simple kind of like logic, I think.
Yeah, I think, there's been a lot of awareness around that now, and even the kind of the relationship between the gut and the brain, isn't it? Like, I'm such a huge advocate.
That's so true. When you put it like that, gut instinct, brain. I had not connected those two things like that. You're so right.
But it is true.
Yeah,
there's so much,
connection.
Because if I feel bad, I feel it in my stomach. If I'm stressed, I feel it in my gut. So, and there is now evidence that you're so, and that's why taking pre and probiotics.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been taking Simproof for about 4 or 5 years.
I take
morning.
Biomel. Have you seen that
Oh,
one?
yeah, seen
Which is
Biomel.
the powder.
I mean, I love.
Yeah.
I think anything. So, Simproof is the one that another one that
the tablets.
No, it's like liquid. You put it in the fridge, and you drink it first thing in the morning.
Oh, nice.
You can't drink or eat before it, and you have to wait 10 minutes after.
That sounds like a good one.
It's good. And it's actually quite a nice routine.
Yeah.
I'm potentially about to change and move to because I just love the nutritionist. Do you follow her?
Yeah.
So Emily English, I've just bought her Epitome just because I'm traveling a lot and Simproof are not that easy to travel with. Yeah, exactly. You have to store it in the fridge. But then now Simproof have just bought out little mini ones that you can take day by day.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I've already decided to make the change. So I'm going to test out more news on that. But it is so important. I think us being in the right headspace, mind space, gut space, looking after yourself to be a good leader is paramount to the company's success. If I'm hungover every day, and I am sometimes hungover, I do drink, but I try not to drink in the week unless I'm at a work event where I might have one or two. Like I know if I have a drink in the week, if I have even a single glass of wine, I know the next day I'm not going to operate as well as I would usually. So I generally don't drink in the week. It's rare. Because I also like getting up really early and going to the gym because I'm a bit sad like that.
Yeah,
but I know that I know I operate better once also there's a huge thing that is like once I've got up in the morning, gone to the gym at 6 a.m. whatever, I've already achieved something that I didn't want to do that day. Really, like as much as I exercise, I never go, oh yay, let's get out of bed and shove myself through a really hard class for the next hour. But as soon as I've done, I mean, I kind of do like it in a backward way, but as soon as I've done it, I'm like, oh, it feels really, really good. Like you just feel amazing afterwards.
Do you find that you have energy in the afternoon still from doing the morning gym session?
Yeah.
Or do you find sometimes that there's like a cost to doing that morning gym session?
No cost. But I think I've like got this weird. I feel like it's a counselling session now. I feel like I've got this like weird extra energy that is not normal for most people. Like I very rarely get tired. Yeah. Very rarely. Like even at bedtime.
Do you eat clean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't like, I mean,
because you said you had ADHD or you thought you did.
I think I do.
You think you do, yeah.
I love chocolate. That's probably don't like greasy. Don't like really eat burgers. If I was to choose to eat, I'd have sushi. Like I like sort of fresh, colourful food, which I actually like.
So less carbs for you generally.
Don't eat that many carbs.
Don't eat that many carbs. Yeah, and that's the key to energy. Yeah. I mean, we've gone off on a real.
We have.
But it's. I mean,
we'll bring it back, guys. Don't worry.
I think it's like really important stuff because if you've got like a busy mind or an ADHD mind, so I got diagnosed when I was 6.
Oh yes,
and for a long time I didn't talk about this because I just thought, who cares? It doesn't matter to me. I'm dealing with it in my own way. It doesn't matter. I'm dealing with it in my own way. And I'm very much like when you said, have you got hay fever? I'm like, no, I don't have hay fever because I actually believe the less you go on about something, that it lessens the effects to some extent. That hay fever chat's a whole weird different conversation about how I got rid of it, seemingly. But with ADHD, the food is even more important than a normal person. Don't get like the same diet and habits are important for everyone, like good sleep, clean food, exercise, good relationships with people around you. But for someone with ADHD, because of the chemicals in the mind and the chemical balance that's different, not imbalance, the balance that's different, it's even more important. You'll get higher highs and lower lows. So now at 34, knowing that my mind works like that, if I feed it the correct things, I can function in like a great way, a next level way. But as soon as I start fucking it up with sorry to swear, but as soon as I start fucking it up with bad food, if I do that 1, 2, 3 days, I will feel overwhelmed. The anxiety comes back in. I'm just like, where did this come from? It's so much more important. And then again, I'm not the best decision maker again. And then I'm not. So this stuff is so important to me, annoyingly.
Yeah.
And I notice it, like if I have a drink or if I have a KFC and a Nando's and then a ice cream, I'm feeling slopey.
Yeah, you do.
I don't feel like a founder. I feel like
I just want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
It's amazing, though, isn't it? Do you know what? I'm so happy that the awareness is better because I think when I was your age, I just wasn't as aware. I mean, I've always been quite, I guess, like mindful about what I eat, but not for my mind. I was probably doing it for more how I look, if I'm honest. Whereas now I do I make those decisions for my mind. Like, I'm really proud of myself today because I'm on 92% according to my Whoop.
Nice.
Do you know
got
about
the
Whoop?
new one.
Whoop, Aura. Oh, you've got a new one.
Come on.
I'm 92% today. I'm so happy with myself.
Love that. That's great. That looks like a new one.
I don't know if it is. I got it in
looks pretty clean.
January-ish.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it is clean. I don't know if I've taken it off.
I got sold the new one.
Did you?
You know, the MG. They just released it.
Why do you not even...
It came up in the app.
No.
Yeah.
It's not told me. I'm not in the new release.
You can get an ECG, blood pressure insights. It can tell you your pace of aging. It's ridiculous.
Oh my God, I need this in my life.
I actually took Whoop off for a long time.
Yeah,
because I got obsessed with it.
Yeah, and also I just feel a little bit like I'm wearing a prison band.
Yeah. Some people hate on the way it looks. I mean, I tried to upgrade it with like a rubber strap and a bit of chrome.
I kept looking. I was like,
chrome.
I was thinking,
is that a Whoop?
I was thinking, have you got an Aura or a Whoop? Yeah. But you've got a Whoop. It looks cool.
This stuff can make you obsessed, you know. And if you're already someone that's like successful and thoughtful about your habits, I'd say that you have to be careful with things like this, because then what you do is all of a sudden you get into a realm where from the moment you wake up, you're tracking and monitoring everything.
Yeah, I'm obsessed. The first thing I do is go on my Whoop.
Right.
And I know, and I took some time, because I was traveling recently and I was like, I know I'm going to not be, I'm on a bloody 2 red-eye flights. Like I'm not going to, I know it's going to tell me and that's going to do my head in. So I just took it off. To be honest, it was probably still doing my head in because I was still thinking,
you want to know?
Yeah, I did want to know. I do think you're right. I think I've got that like very addictive mindset, like the same with exercise. Like because I'd been in Paris last week for work, I was on Friday, I was like, right, I'm going to go to the gym Friday morning, which I didn't do because we didn't get home till 2 a.m. The flight was delayed.
Yeah.
So I didn't do it. So then since then I've done parkrun Saturday, then Sunday did Blaze at David Lloyd, then Monday did Blaze, then Tuesday. So I've done 3 Blaze sessions plus yoga because I was like, I'm not going to be able to exercise today because I was like, I'm just going to walk around London all day. So I get quite obsessed with like, so
and then
I have
you're
to
tracking and monitoring everything.
Yeah, and
you're doing all your tasks at work.
Yeah,
and then you're tracking your gym, and then you're tracking your sleep.
I know.
And then in extreme times, you're tracking your food on Fitness Pal or whatever. Sometimes. So then you're like, where is the natural chaos of life gone? There is none because everything's tracked and monitored.
I know.
And I just think that can be quite damaging for people.
We
just need to let go of a lot of this tracking. So I might take this off again in a month.
Yeah.
I understand how much sleep is. Blah, blah.
I think you also learn, for me, I know if I drink and if I don't go to bed at my regular time,
you know it's going to be
that you can't. I think once you've worn it for long enough, you get there.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to take it back to marketing.
Let's go.
But I actually do want to keep talking about this. Maybe this is more interesting for you guys, to be honest. Mixes it up a bit.
Yeah.
So I want to know about the campaigns that have kind of skyrocketed you guys, because you have had a few go viral. You're kind of famed for being, I'm going to get this wrong and I'm going to try and say the names right as well. Nike and, you tell me, Nike and Adidas?
Adidas, yeah. One of their biggest content partners for Adidas, but Nike's biggest content partner in Europe,
pretty damn epic.
Yeah, we're the second biggest content affiliate in Money Saving Expert is number 1 and Supplier is number 2. So affiliate gets a bad name.
Yeah. So what does that mean, and how do you think you've got there?
Affiliate in traditional marketing, affiliate marketing, people associate with voucher code sites. And a lot of people think they're just skimming sales off the top. But working with an affiliate like us, which is the wrong term, we call ourselves a full funnel partner. Working with a full funnel partner like us, like Nike do, UGG, Dr. Martens, like these brands do, you get a full funnel experience to tap into our audience. So we can create massive awareness through content and community. That could be anything from like a styling guide to a podcast to something. And then we create consideration in the middle, asking the right questions, tapping into what the audience are actually talking about, and then the conversion part via the app and the website to actually get you sales. So this is a whole marketing channel in itself that often outperforms most other marketing channels for brands on a return on ad spend basis. But when we're boxed into affiliate, a lot of brands, again, if you get a fractional CMO come into a brand, they go, how are we going to save money in marketing? You do affiliate. Okay, yeah, get rid of that. And that is the worst decision that fractional CMOs can make, and that can be outdated. I understand pay voucher codes less potentially because they're not creating the additional value and incrementality, but A full funnel partner like the Soul Supplier, and there's quite a few others as well, will deliver full funnel performance. It will allow you to create massive influence and sales for your products. And like you said, in the Cowprint Samba's case with Adidas and ASOS, sell that shoe out and the next range of shoes in 30 seconds from the right campaign from a full funnel partner. So we were ASOS's exclusive partner for that shoe. And through what we did, the shoe sold out rapidly, quickly.
It's amazing what you've created though, because you are kind of like this really unique, like in my head, the Soul Supplier is like a social platform, content community, well, not just content community platform, content platform, marketplace. Like you are a full funnel partner. You do absolutely everything, which must be a challenge when you're running the business.
It sounds bad, right, when you say that, but I guess we're not the jack of all trades, the master of none. We are just trying to solve the problem. How do you get shoes?
Yeah.
Can we help you get shoes?
Yeah. And
therefore, we do that at the inspiration level. We do that at the consideration level. We do that at the point of sale. And then we do that once they're sold out with the marketplace. So if you look at it like a funnel again, it's like right from where they start all the way to when it's sold out and they're buying on the resale market. So it's just solving that problem. And there's at many points we need to solve it, really. Yeah.
Talk to me about a campaign that like went wild.
I really, I just take it back to like the first one that ever went wild, which is just a very, and we still do this now. The Soul Supplier and the team in the Soul Supplier are good at jumping on trends first, seeing things before they happen so we can get ahead of it with the audience. So we are the voice for sneakers in the UK. So people were like, the Soul Supplier called that one, or they were first. That's when it's powerful. That's when you get the real recognition. So we've always been quite good at that. The moment that I was very good at it was there was a shoe that was re-releasing called the Huarache. And it's taken after a Roman slipper.
Yeah.
And
I don't like them.
You don't like them?
No.
But so a lot of people were like that when it was re-releasing. So this was at 7-8 months.
You're not wearing them, are you?
No, I'm wearing Air Force Ones.
Slating your shoes.
Classic hip hop shoes, my favourite. Air Force Ones, always comfy. But 7-8 months in, I'm working in recruitment. I'm like, wow, the Huaraches are coming back. These are going to be big. People are online hating on them. Soul Supplier's like, just me at this point. I'm like, nope, Huaraches are going to pop. They're going to be the shoe of the year. So I start optimizing the site for the Huarache to be number one in Google. Trying my best. We hadn't got any number ones at this point at 7 months in. And at this point, I'm like, we need to get a number one soon and start making some money. I'm part of the JD Sports affiliate program. And I know the Huaraches are launching at JD Sports. Anyway, we get closer to the release date. And I think 2 days before the release date, we got a number one for the triple black Huarache in Google. We were first. And this was before Google Shopping, anything, 10 years ago. You were at the top, number one, above JD Sports, above Nike. Wild. So, and because we were talking about them on social, we were the Huarache supplier at that point, not the Soul Supplier. It was just, what Huaraches do you want? Where are they stocking them? And we made over $2,000 in one day. And I remember running downstairs on the Saturday morning and going, Mum, Dad, look, it's working, like refreshing. And it was a wild moment. And then we became like the king of the Huaraches. And then since then, there's been so many different shoes. We were when the Yeezys from Kanye, when he was in his right mind, let's say, some people say, we were the kings, queens of Yeezys. We've helped take so many shoes from zero to hero in the UK. Oftentimes when people are like, they're not going to be something, and we go against the grain and we're like, they are, and there's a reason why.
Yeah.
And
look at Adidas. I thought it was going to go down when Rishi, I can never say his name right.
Yeah.
Rishi Sunak.
Yeah.
Wore them. And do you remember?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's it. They're going down, the Sambas. But they didn't. They've continued to go up.
That was another one, Katie. Yeah. So you started to see people, we called it bloke core, which was like football-esque kind of outfits. And the shoes like the Spezials and the Gazelles came back. And then we were thinking, this is going to be a huge trend for women's as well. And then it was like bloquette core, which is a ridiculous term, right? But women wearing like football jerseys and their sambas and their gazelles. And so we've been part of this voice for Adidas in the UK over the last few years, helping all of their classics that are at a great price, by the way,
They are.
become like significant again for the right reasons. And they've absolutely done that on their own. Like they would say, the Soul Supplier didn't do that. But in the UK, we've helped create that hype around these shoes by different pieces of content, collaborations with influencers, podcasts, and then they've done it with collaborations with people like Wales Bonner, etc., which elevate it even further. But that was like a 2-year thing of the Sambas, to the point in February where the cow prints were just the biggest shoe of the year.
Yeah.
And they still are at this point.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
massive restock coming as well. So
Yes.
there's so much that goes into this. It's scarcity, isn't it?
How do you spot a trend?
A combination of tech and team.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Any cool tech that helps you spot these trends?
We just have so many different points of data where we work with a lot of different retailers that can allow us to see what's selling well at one retailer. We can see if there's more interest in our website for something, if it's up and coming.
Of course.
And then our team will look at that and go, okay, we are seeing this on the street. We're also seeing it in the data. This is something we need to be on.
Nice.
It's always a combination of like tech and team.
Yeah.
People and robots.
I love that. That's true. That's the future, right?
It's both. It's the same with AI.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask about that because AI is, we cannot ignore this, changing how we search for products. Like I don't often search on Google for stuff anymore.
Agreed.
I don't. And if I do search for something, I'm either searching on Instagram or, dare I say it, in ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I ask Chat to find me stuff. I know it's smarter than Google and it gives me more.
So you're looking in ChatGPT for fashion items.
If I'm trying to find something, potentially.
Interesting. Nice.
And all sorts of different things. Like, for instance, I mean, I don't know how relevant this is as an example, and I think I've given it before, so sorry guys if you're a regular listener. But for instance, I was going skiing and I hadn't been to this resort before, and I wanted to get my skis and my ski gear from somewhere that was easy to get to from where I was staying. So I asked ChatGPT, which ski store is the nearest for me to walk to, and does it stock these brands? And it could tell me, because I was like, I know which skis I wanted to hire. Does it stock the skis that I've got? And it could tell me. Yeah,
that's a good way to use it. Yeah.
And I mean, and it's just getting smarter and smarter. Maybe.
Question for you though.
Go on.
If you wouldn't go to ChatGPT to figure out an outfit or get inspired, you'd probably use Instagram more.
Yes,
or you'd
100%.
use something where you can see real humans.
Yes.
For instance.
And I think this is a really interesting thing that we can talk about probably, is social commerce. And the opportunity with social commerce is huge. Like that is, I think they're saying something like the hugest amount of growth. And I have interviewed someone on this recently, and I'm about to interview someone on it at a big brand actually. Watch this space, at Shop Talk. But social commerce is the future. Like not just how you find the products and the brands and the things, that fashion items that you're going to buy, but also in platform, like within, to a certain extent, you guys are a shoppable social platform. So one of the people that I interviewed recently in this studio, Diego in the background will know, has got her own kind of, they do all the social commerce within the M&S website. So like the way that we want to shop, because we find so much on social, actually in platform, I think platforms have got to look and design themselves more like the social platforms, because that's what we're used to and how we want to shop. I want to see real people. I don't want to see some sexy model who looks perfect. I want to see someone that looks like me, or is typical to me, or is walking around, and I want to see the UGC, because then I can confirm that the dress, I mean, Zara are terrible at this, like the fashion, I mean, they're kind of famous for it now, like the weird poses that the models do. do. Like that, I often will buy something from Zara and it looks crap on the website, but it looks great on, and vice versa. So, but in order to verify that purchase and lessen my returns and give me more faith that what I'm going to buy isn't going to cause me an ag and I don't want to return stuff, I'm much better if I can see it, or I can see someone in a similar size to me, or the ratings and the reviews that tells them that this runs big, this runs small. Like that stuff's really important.
Really important, yeah. Yeah,
It's changing.
I like what you said about platforms have to adapt if they want to survive. Effectively, you said that. I kind of, took your words and added
You've
a bit
made
more
it better.
on. Yeah, but they do have to, and this is exactly what we're doing right now for the Soul Supplier website and app. It's a bit too transactional. All of our social channels are very content heavy, and it's about transforming the website and app experience to be more social and content and community driven, and then feeding the transactional elements into it there. One thing I don't think is going to be as big as people think is live shopping. I don't believe that it provides the convenience element that people want when they're shopping. But I've gone off on a tangent when you said social commerce. Live shopping is a long way to shop. To sit there and watch someone talk through something is quite frustrating for me.
And me, I
And
get
you.
bored.
Right.
But certain things that I want to see, but I want to skip forward. I don't want to watch a live.
Yeah.
Because I've had this loads of times. Unless you've got loads of time and they're doing like a whole hour, and I do follow on Instagram a lot of people that do quite regular lives showing the new products. Love that, but I don't have time for it. I want to watch it back later and skip to the bit with the item that I want to buy.
Yeah.
Or I want them to clip that up.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm
It's like,
with
how much
you.
time do we have? It's
I don't
like
have that
people
much
are like,
time. Yeah.
live shopping's going to be the biggest thing. I'm like, maybe it's going to be something, but let's
part
not
of it.
forget that we went from TV shopping, which was live shopping, to moving completely away from it, and now we're kind of back there again.
Yeah.
It's so funny, isn't
It's
it?
QVC.
Yeah,
We're all becoming QVC.
effectively, it's QVC in a lot of aspects done worse.
Yeah.
It's done slower.
Yeah.
There's less sales tactics to it.
Yeah.
And maybe it's done better in terms of the product quality for some people, because sometimes QVC was just like
bit
rubbish
Yeah.
bargains, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure about that. But one thing I am sure of, what's going to go on for the next 5 to 10 years, is as AI gets bigger, human experiences and culture will become even more important. So I think if you can lean into that as a brand, you're going to be able to win, because humans will be more frustrated that there's more AI content and things going on than ever, and therefore they will value more human culture and experience for humans by humans, because until AI can create culture, that human culture will be predominant and will keep being pushed.
I'm glad that you've said that, because my whole go-to-market strategy for my business is about human-centered content and human-first marketing.
Yeah.
So yay, I made a right decision, which is good.
Absolutely.
But I also do think, I was going to say this to you earlier and we skipped past it, or I skipped past it in my head, is buying trainers is one of the purchases for me that is I've often not wanted to do online. I don't know why. I'd like to feel how shoes fit. I like, because sizing isn't always 100% right. It's a bit like, you won't know this, but like buying makeup, like, traditionally foundation or whatever, like you want to try that. So the same for me, I was like, I want to try shoes on, because you don't know how they feel, how they fit, if they look right on your feet, because everyone's feet are different, let's be honest, or your body's different.
Sure.
Like, it's like, it is almost this, I don't know why, I've always found it a more personal thing to buy. But I think what you guys have done by creating community and all the different levels, layers, of everything you have, you make it easier for people to believe that they're buying the right thing. And I think that's a huge part of the problem that you're solving and helping all of these brands solve by also being this like trusted in the middle person, that there isn't any of the other, there isn't just Woucher or someone that just trying to flog some stuff. You're actually creating an experience, giving knowledge, sharing insight. Like it's a much more strategic play.
Yes, it's not Nike themselves saying, we're cool, you should look at us.
Yeah.
It's the Soul Supplier saying Nike's cool.
Yeah. And you're trusted.
And
you've got a brand.
Yeah, it's always that one of the third party saying that person's cool rather than the person themselves. It always works. We used this example at a Nike marketing meeting in Amsterdam. It was like "Hi, I'm Dan. I just want to do a thought experiment." And he said, "If I stood here today and I said, right, guys, I'm Dan. I'm going to be the coolest person you're ever going to meet. And then, would you believe me? But if last night you had been out with Bart and Bart said, tomorrow you guys are going to meet Dan, and he's probably one of the coolest people I've met, would you be more likely to think I'm cool?" Everyone went, "Yeah." And Dan went, "That's exactly what the Soul Supplier does. We are that third party that cements or certifies that your brand is cool." And I just think that's so important. People buy from people. Faceless brands are not the future. People-driven brands are the future. Human-driven brands. 70% of consumers now say that they are influenced by a person before they buy. So we are in an era now where, and they may be AI people as well, agreed, that look like people, but still they're people because they look like people, right? Not because they look like a robot. We are in the era more so than ever of like real, authentic human experiences, even though AI is huge. You must use AI. You must understand how to use it to be faster, to get more ideas, to enhance everything you're doing. But that's to enhance, for now, the human part of our experience. There was something else though that you said that I really wanted to pick up on, but I can't think now.
Well, I've got another question for you, so don't worry.
Yeah.
It was about something you were talking about earlier. It was around SEO. So obviously SEO has been incredibly important, throughout your business, but AI is changing how we search.
Absolutely.
So what does that mean for you guys when it comes to SEO? Are you having to change things? Are you having to change how you position things? Are you having to change your SEO strategies? Because people will be searching differently. They're searching on social platforms. They're searching on ChatGPT, not just the traditional search platforms that we're used to.
You got to find ways to be unique now if you want to get traffic from ChatGPT, Perplexity, Google. Google less so. Traffic's declining massively from Google overall.
Scary, huh?
Yeah. So there's no real 10-year plan to optimize for Google right now, even though Google will pull something out the bag, which probably turns it around. Right now, you want to be creating content that is unique for the human experience. So AI can pull from it and then hopefully give you a citation, which means they will link through to you. I don't know if you've used Perplexity, but
I haven't, but I know about Perplexity, and
it's
I
amazing
feel like I should.
Real-time search, and they do the citations, and then oftentimes I click through to the websites. My big prediction is that websites will be irrelevant in 10 years.
Oh, do you know what? I'm such a fan of this subject. I've spoken about it a bit recently.
Yeah.
Well, reason being, if you think about it and think about what you're creating, you're creating a website that is housing. So you're kind of like pulling in the social content. And this is actually what I'm doing with my new website.
Yeah.
I always want to push them back out to LinkedIn, to YouTube, because that's where the content lives and breathes. It's kind of like this, it's just a holding area that's pulling in all the social content rather than a site in its own right, because people shop differently. Like you said earlier, like we're shopping on ChatGPT or on the social channels. We're not necessarily always going to a night. Like if I want to buy Vejas, I'm very rarely going to go Vejas. Anyway, Vejas. Oh bloody hell! I'll get
I'm
it right
with you
one
though.
day.
We both said Vejas until I got corrected and blah blah. I pass it on.
Vejas. When I'm searching for them, I'm not going to their website because I probably don't know how to spell it or say it. So I'm searching for it in a different way. So you've got to, and usually I'm finding it through an influencer or some fashion person that I follow on Instagram or wherever, and that is how we shop now.
Yeah. So why do people find their fashion inspiration from Instagram or TikTok? It's because it's real people that are showing them things, right? And it's more social and real. So I believe the future is not necessarily in websites that are more transactional, but it's micro communities that can tap into culture. So that's what we're trying to create now with the Soul Supplier. It's a space. The website will be part of it, but it's a space where if you are into fashion, sneakers and streetwear, you will be able to go there to get inspired, to be social and to engage with your community. That's what it will be. So it will almost be like a kind of Reddit style, but much more content and visual, but for sneakers and streetwear culture. which will have the social elements, the community elements, the content mixed together with the transactional. So rather than then, like you, Katie, scrolling Instagram for inspiration, if you want to get the inspiration now, you would just go to an app like the Soul Supplier, which is the hub for fashion and streetwear culture. If that was your thing, a very dedicated experience with the right community, all niche for that thing.
Yeah, you're actually making me excited about this. I
mean, that's what I think the future is, really. Because I just think websites will become irrelevant. Transactional websites will become irrelevant. Unless you're offering content, community, and social, you're going to die. I genuinely think that. Because ChatGPT and Perplexity will just serve everything for you. Yeah.
More inspiration.
You have to be unique and be pushing the human culture and experience. Which means there's a lot to do. You've got a lot of content to create or find ways to create it.
Yeah, or pull it in.
Yeah.
Both, ideally.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And that's where, well, also you can, a lot of it can be created by your community. And that's if you think about the best like platforms out there, they are they're creating, they're community driven.
Yep.
They're creating the content for you.
What are you
and
creating,
it's more
by the way?
trusted.
Yeah. What are you creating?
What am I creating for my website?
You said you was launching something.
No, it's just a very boring website.
Oh.
But it kind of does. We're a B2B website. So basically it's going to be more of a hub for content and inspiration that pushes you back out to our social channels, because I agree with you. Like, I mean, my business is very different. I'm not creating a transactional website. I'm selling a service. But the same rules apply, because I don't believe I need a website to sell my services. I think most people will go and find us through LinkedIn most of the time. In fact, I know 90% of my leads come through there. So, all I'm doing on our new website is showing the helpful, insightful content that we have on LinkedIn and pushing them back to that and to YouTube, where we house a lot of video content from the podcast and stuff like that. So essentially it's a content hub that hopefully inspires them. It gives thought leadership, helps them overcome the challenges that they face within their business, whatever. So it's a really simple. I mean, I have created something in the past. I still actually have it built, which is more around an education training platform. But I think that is the future. And I think if you've got, if you're selling products, UGC is trusted. Yeah. So for those of you that don't know UGC, and I'm sure you all do, user generated content, so much more trusted. Like, I want to see, like, when I go on on the occasions that I do, have to go onto a website and I'm looking at, it annoys me when they don't have, like, I want to see the Instagram reel of all the people that are wearing that product. I want to know, that's how I want to buy, because I want to see real people wearing the things that I want to buy, to see what it's really like. I don't want to see almost like photo shoots are going to be dead.
Yeah.
I mean, brands that adopt that strategy, rather than spending a freaking fortune on model shoots and actually just do the UGC, I would prefer that.
Or they use AI to make it look like UGC.
Yeah, even smarter.
So they've got, say, 1,000 pieces of UGC that they then can get the product shot, and then they can just feed it in, and then they get 8 different model UGC style pictures from AI. It's going to be
so much cheaper.
I mean, that stuff's going on. It's kind of right now.
Yeah.
It's not perfect, but that's a way to use AI, which still looks human.
Yeah.
But then it causes problems for that actual UGC, because that's pulling from
Which
real
is
people.
Real. Yeah.
Yeah, and then this is where it all goes quite wild.
It's exciting though.
Yeah.
It is exciting.
Yeah, it really is, yeah.
I have a last question for you.
Hit me.
Before I go and let you enjoy the rest of it. We actually have a bit of sunshine today in London. I'm liking this. The trainers that I need to buy right now. So seeing as you are at the forefront of these trends, you're going to be able to tell me what I need to buy. Which might be different for me than other people. I do get that.
I would...
What's the next cool new thing?
I would look at what UGG are doing right now.
Oh, do you know what I should have used you guys? Do you sell UGG?
Yeah,
right?
so we're doing some wicked stuff with UGG right now.
Do you know, it's taken me 2 years to buy the ultra mini Uggs in the right colour for my daughter.
Okay.
And I eventually found them on flannels, and luckily I've just got this secret perk discount where I get 20% off flannels.
Yeah.
And I managed to get them for her and given them to her for her birthday. She has literally wanted them for 2 years.
Yeah.
The ultra minis, because the teenagers have gone mental for them, have been impossible to find. But I'm loving, well, you tell me more about UGG, but I'm with you.
Men are wearing Uggs more than ever.
Ooh.
We're doing a lot of work with UGG on some of their cool upcoming stuff. And I just bought which is called the Peak Mod, which is it's hard to explain, but then it's got a strap around the back and it's really lightweight and it's like quite a more open shoe, sick shoe. And then there's the Low Mel as well, which is slightly bulkier, got some big like lace loops to it. It's like a bit more chunky. It's like a chunky.
Cute.
It's really nice. And they're men's and women's. And UGG doing some wicked things. We sat in their office in London. Well, they hired a space in London. 200 people from Europe from the UGG team were in the room, and we did a panel to their team. And the energy in that room right now is powerful. They were all clapping, laughing, cheering. And I know when a brand has energy like that the next few years for them are good, because they're going to create some of the best stuff. And we're already seeing it. We're already seeing how UGG have gone like this.
Yeah,
and
massive
that's going
resurgence.
that's going to continue.
They've got cool again.
Oh, big time.
I love it when brands do that.
Men want to wear them, women want to wear them. They're not just for comfort now.
Yeah.
They've got hiking versions of the UGG. They've got UGGs you can wear every day. It's the UGG season.
UGG era.
UGG era. But you remember like Joey Essex wore them.
Yeah.
Remember back in like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And I mean, he got ripped for it. And then Pharrell wore them and then he got a bit ripped for it. He's like, men can't wear UGGs, you know? And now we're in the era where everyone wants to get them.
Yeah.
So many men in our audience, what's coming out for UGG, blah, blah, blah. Can we get them? They're even wearing the Taz, Taz, which were the UGG Taz, which were maybe what your daughter was wanting to buy as well. So yeah, it's absolutely, and yeah, granted we're working with UGG, but this is one thing I say, we only work with brands that we want to work with, because it has to work for our audience. So when we work with a brand, we'll look at their calendar and we'll go, these shoes we think will work. We can't do these ones. And we do this with Nike, Adidas, this will not work. Our audience won't care. We can't tell a story on that. But so for me, this is a very strong alignment of UGG are doing cool things. We happen to be working with them. I'm wearing them as some of the guys are in the office and girls. And it's a great brand to look at right now. Yeah.
I'm excited. I want to go buy some UGGs. Can I say the other one, which I also feel like has had a massive resurgence. Birkies. Birkenstocks.
Yeah, love them.
Like literally, I was on the way walking here, like, oh.
I was wearing them yesterday.
Yeah.
But Boston's, the mules with the, the really
amazing.
Nice.
Like, and again, like 10 years ago, Birkenstocks, a bit.
Agreed.
Or maybe 15 years ago, but like they've made such a comeback.
10 years, 7.
Yeah, exactly.
5.
I remember my ex used to wear them all the time and I'd be like, oh, can you just not wear Birkenstocks? Yeah. And now I'm like, oh, maybe he was onto something.
Right. He was ahead of the curve.
He really was. So yeah, I love it when brands do that. The other thing that I love about what you just said just before we end the pod is around the energy that you felt with the team at UGG, which again kind of brings back that human element, because as much as robots take over, human energy, passion, excitement can charge so much. Without that, if you've only got robots running things, you are not going to have the same impact, I don't think. So I love, and again, you're entrusting and knowing that they're going to do brilliant because of the excitement, the energy in the room, and I just love that.
That's what I try and create at the company, at the Soul Supplier. It's like, how do we keep that energy strong and motivated, and people are passionate about what they're doing? Because when people are going in and working somewhere like that, they're happy, they're satisfied, and they want to stay there, and they want to keep doing better for themselves and for the company. And it's like, we haven't quantified that part yet of the human experience, that when there's that energy in the room, that vibe, that feeling.
Yeah. So
good luck with AI and robots recreating that, because that is something we haven't quite quantified. No. But you feel it.
Yeah.
And when that's there, that's when you have a good day, or you walk out of a meeting together, right? You have a good chat,
like that after today.
Right? Yeah. You have that chat, or you have a meeting and you go, that was a powerful energy in that room, and you all feel good and you walk away from it. It's hard to quantify, but you knew it.
Yeah.
So it's an exciting time we're living in.
It is. Yeah. AI may be taking over, but it's still keep it human.
Yeah.
Fab. Thank you so much, darling. Thanks, I've loved our chat. I could stay here forever.
Nice one.
And now I'm going to go and do some shopping and buy some UGGs. Thanks, George.
Thanks for having me on.